When I play games like Kingpin, Life of Crime, or I watch movies like I mentioned Road to Perdition, or even like, No Country for Old Men, or even relatively recent shit, right? Like I said, The Recruit. It's literally about the CIA. It came out in 2003, like really close like to right after 9/11, and yet all these movies you look through, remember, No Country for Old Men and then Road to Perdition. Yeah, they're set in like earlier time periods, but both of them were filmed in the early to mid 90s, or sorry, the early to mid 2000s. Again, so even in that case, there's like cameras nowhere. I was reading about random technological stuff earlier on Wikipedia. So I was reading this one blog about them doing like ultra wide gaming, like 32 to 9 gaming monitors or whatever. And I was just looking through Wikipedia links, and one of them was showing uh, basically the undoing of barrel distortion, they call it, on wide fields of view on like photographs or whatever. Because with high fobs, you'll get distortion just due to how the optics work. But the inverse of that kind of straightens all the lines out again, and all that makes to some degree possibly a nicer looking image. But something I noticed on the image is that it was a picture of like a subway or something. This was like a real photograph demonstrating the barrel distortion thing. And I just noticed instantly I didn't see any fucking cameras, even though it's a subway. So I clicked on the image, and on Wikipedia it'll show you the details of it, and it said at the bottom that it was taken in 2009. Yeah, see, I was like, all right, that makes sense. It's like, wouldn't you love to just be able to walk it anywhere and just not just be alone, you know, and just get to be just like there is no solitude, right? I mean, like right now there's fucking, I mean, it's known that these satellites with their millimeter wave shit. I mean, fuck, I'm sitting here right next to this the fucking window of the door. Well, there's satellites right above my head, and what, you don't think they can go like see through the glass and even reconstruct what I'm saying, right? Like if they're not doing it yet, they will. All right. I mean, if I could think of it, they could fucking think of it. All this, you know, just not being able to just fucking sit anywhere, and just all the fucking bullshit that goes along with that. So Soldier of Fortune 2, or the original Splinter Cell, or even like Chaos Theory is just sort of laughable. Um, or like when I was playing Kingpin Life of Crime. I haven't played it again recently because it's just not working correctly. I haven't figured it out yet, but that game came out in like 99 or whatever, and it's like a retro futurism kind of thing. But, that one of the appeals of that is that, again, as I mentioned, the technology is at a point, it's like good enough to have like cool shit or interesting shit, but not enough to have this mass surveillance. I keep coming back to that, right? Because in that game, it's like, all right, the criminals are coming after you. And I mean, they might as well be the state. I mean, they're both, it's all cartels, it's all gangs, it's just what clothes are they wearing. But you just imagine that game, like, at that level, where even if cameras existed, they're not all directly connected over the fucking air and this and that. Dude, it is so easy to fucking evade persecution in a scenario like that. you know, and it's like, fuck, again, like if I could just have 10 years ago, I mean, it's not like they didn't already have the shit, but that's the point. It wasn't like it is now. Like, you fucking can't go anywhere. Like, I don't live in a major city, it's fucking, but it's like every back road, every empty ass stretch of interstate in the middle of nowhere, even back in 2019, I was starting to see just random ass cameras on a fucking pole, right? And maybe they weren't connected together then. Maybe they didn't have AI tracking, but it's not like they can't save the video for later to apply the shit to it, right? And it's like, dude, it's not, you don't have a right to know anything about me. You don't have any right to know where I'm at, what I'm doing, or any of that. You know why? Because these cops don't want to tell me where the fuck they're at and what they're doing. Like, you remember when they started putting the speed trap stuff on Google Maps, or like before that, there was some separate app for that, and cops were all mad about it because, oh my God, think of officer safety. And it's just how histrionic and one sided these human terrorists are. And it's like, no, no, you're the threat to me. Okay. Human societies are the threat to me. The further I can get away from all of that and be left alone, the better for me. I'm beyond, giving up convenience, safety for safety, because that's way more fucking important. Thing is, if a coronal mass ejection took out all these electronics, y'all motherfuckers wouldn't survive. I'll be just fine. For me, it will fundamentally be no different. But it's just how agonizing it is to, like, even 10 years ago when it was basically the same level of stuff, it just wasn't deployed fully yet, right? It was just so easy, right? Like I mentioned, just telling the whatever how old you are, right? Oh, you easily get a new number. They want to try to take that away. Getting an email address without being tied to you, they want to take that away. Being able to pay for shit anonymously, take that away, and this and that. And it's marred by all these, like, CompSec channels that they spend too much time on the distraction shit, and they give you these ideal threat models and all this other shit, when they're not just overt, you know, misdirections on like the, like, claim, oh my God, Windows XP is less safe, and then they connect it directly to the internet through the modem, no router, no, not even a software firewall, and oh wow, it got infected, so it's not as safe. It's, dude, bullshit. If you're going to be an idiot with it, you're going to get compromised no matter what the fuck you do. The point isn't to be like totally untraceable, ghost or whatever. The goal is to have the control over my fucking shit to, again, minimize the ability of child molesters to fucking oppress me. Because I know it's like society doesn't ever seem to be able to do anything about actual fucking criminals, right? And they want to lock down the internet because they care about the kids. It's like, no, y'all motherfuckers think about kids enough, all right? Like, why is it the more and more they, oh, YouTube for kids, YouTube for kids. You can't put shit on there because they'll age restrict it as a way to censor you, and yet you can go on Reddit and see all this weird shit it'll show to motherfuckers if they're on the YouTube kids stuff, right? It's a mass surveillance app to give these pedophiles more kids to fuck. But then they want to say, we got to know where you're at all the time because you might be the one doing that. Everyone knows what it's really about. But you know what? The fucking, they weaponize everything, right? Windows XP is unsecured. No, it isn't. Windows XP basically lets me run pretty close to kernel level, system level. I mean, that's about as close as you need to be. I have the most control over the operating system. That makes me the safest. I can't even disable antivirus in Windows 11 because it won't let you. There really is no system account anymore. I was going to try to just delete the files associated with it through Hirons, but it won't boot through uefi, and all the versions claiming to supposedly are like a virus or whatever. And so, I mean, I can't afford the downtime to determine if I could even boot through like legacy BIOS mode or something. And even then, I couldn't guarantee if the shit would work. But in the past, I used to do manual virus removal. I would, get paid, and pretty much all I do is I'd run mini XP or whatever it is off of Hirons and manually go through and delete shit if they didn't want me to just reinstall it. You just have the bleeping computer page open on this computer over here, and you're just going through deleting all the files, run a malware bytes or whatever when you get it back up, this and that. And of course, don't connect it to the fucking local network, right? A lot of even computer repair stores had to learn the hard way on that with fucking ransomware, right? All these basic ideas of computer security are just like out the window now. And it's like all these modern operating systems, they're just spyware. But that's why, because your data is a commodity. They don't. It's not just they want to sell it; they want to directly collude with the state to track you everywhere. And it has nothing to do with that, right? So, like when the UK has a data breach or whatever, and traffic camera footage is just on the internet forever now, and like like Flock and all this other shit. Do you really think they care if somebody that doesn't like you goes into the publicly available Flock shit and just they know your license plate and they just follow you wherever the fuck you went, right? They wanted to blur license plates on Google Maps for safety or whatever. Now, I'm sure they're there for the cops, but apparently Flock is there for everybody. Is that true? I haven't looked into it, but if it were, any compromise or whatever like that has nothing to do with protecting you. It's directly the opposite. It's being able to more effectively oppress you. But as I mentioned, it doesn't ever affect enough individuals badly enough for them to have a problem with it, right? They just get to see it as a mild inconvenience. But then they want to, crash down on, Elliot Rodger or Frank James or whoever it is and then act surprised when they flip out about it, right? Oh, well, I'm getting life easy, so what's your problem? That's how a human is, because they're evil. But, you know, if I could get into my hirings for, and maybe I could just install Mini XP or something on a fucking drive, or maybe there's probably stuff I haven't done could do. I just haven't looked into it. But it's either some way I can just log in, mount the disk, and just fucking you know delete the shit, and it can't stop me. You know, I've done that a many a times on my own installations for shit like this. And yeah, okay, maybe I could boot a Linux thing or something. My main thing is there's a lot I could do with this piece of shit that I haven't done just because I need the thing to stay up and running, right? I just, and that's what they want to trap you in, right? It's like Google will lock out your really important email account to extort you for a phone number or whatever. And I'm just wondering when they're going to do that. That's why I do everything to try not to have to sign out anything. Like I just thought about that recently with Steam, because technically I'm in offline mode because I have to connect to the internet right now through my phone through a Wi-Fi bridge. So it's always offline because apparently Steam doesn't understand proxies, or I guess I didn't change the setting. But that's a good thing. My issue is what happens if I have to reboot or it gets forced on me, and then I try to log into my Steam account, and now they decide they're going to uh, lock my thousands of dollars worth of games behind this extortion of needing my driver's license or fucking whatever. There's too much shit that this shit fucks up. And another thing is, these distractions of terms like conspiracy theory or whatever. Like there's no conspiracies on the planet or whatever. And I get tired of this weaponization of language. But the thing is, um, motherfuckers talking about 5G and all that stuff had the wrong idea. They're non-ionizing radiation. They cannot directly hurt you. What's bad for your health is the heavy metals and plastics in your smartphone and in the fucking new repeaters they're putting up. That's the part damaging you, and then the pollution of creating it and putting it there. All right, it has nothing to do with radiation in this extent. It's not high frequency enough. The real reason they're putting them all up is because the higher wavelength can't travel as far. It doesn't go through surfaces as well. So they have to reamp the signal more often, but they wanted it like that. The real conspiracy is that higher frequency gives them more granular information. And it's, dude, even 15 years ago, I could read about them using millimeter wave stuff, terahertz frequency stuff to ascertain surface characteristics, right? So it's just like with video games again, right there, photogrammetry in the worst fucking way possible. And now it's at every street light and just randomly down the fucking road, no matter where the fuck you are and how out of the way it is, on a fucking solar panel, right? How much good could solar panels that have done, and instead they use it for shit like this? These videos are all disconnected. There's not a real point. I'm just, like I said, stream of consciousness. I'll make 3 or 4 of them and whatever. I'm just talking about whatever's on my fucking mind. But this one's almost out of time, so I'll make